I'd like to introduce Delmy Garcia Hoyt, who is from El Salvador and is going to tell us a bit about herself. Thank you.
My name is Delmy, and I am originally from El Salvador. When I was growing up in El Salvador, in the midst of the civil war, you are surrounded by sadness, anger, desperation, repression, fear that you might not live to see the next day. So for many of us, it was easy to think that if we carry a gun, it might help us to bring peace faster. But Bishop Romero used to challenge us to look at different forms that peace can be created. He invited us to analyze our struggles of our lives, not with the feelings of revenge, not violence, but to find ways not to be passive and quiet. So as a community, we used to march on the streets to make sure that we had potable water at least twice a week. We march asking to the government to keep the schools open. We march asking for the protection of the innocent prisoners to be treated with justice. We provided moral support to the ones that a family member has been disappeared. We pray for the prompt healing of the ones that have been injured by a bullet or a grenade. We provided shelter to the thousands of refugees that were coming from the countryside, escaping war. For myself, it was a struggle to think about peace in times of war. But at the same time, I learned that peace is the product of faith, strength, energy, will, sympathy, justice, and imagination. When I think about peace in Canada, I have to think in a collective form and dream with others, because I believe it is the only way that a thought, an issue, a concern can become a reality. For example, the Trinity Manor refugee housing at the Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers is a small way of a community that are struggling for peace. In the building, we have 15 different countries. All of them have come to Canada from countries of war. But in the building, all the tenants are working to give voice to each other. They are working hard in becoming productive members of the community. They value and respect each other. We celebrate their hopes and we acknowledge their sadness and their past. Like any other community, things are not always perfect, but we can see that they reach to each other in times of need. For example, cooking meals for each other, or babysitting, or praying together. We all know that peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace has to be created in order to be maintained. Peace will never be achieved in being passive and quiet. So I'm inviting you to become the microphone in your own community, either in your social group, your school group, your musical group, your church group, to become active and responding to alternatives that will respond to conflict, to passive, aggressive repression, or to respond to alternatives to violence. So I would like to end this message with a quote from Bishop Romero. Bishop Romero was assassinated during a mass from a single bullet in 1982. So peace is not the product of terror or fear. Peace is not the silence of cemeteries. Peace is not the silent result of violent repression. Peace is the general, tranquil contribution for all to the good of all. Peace is dynamism. Peace is generosity. It is right and it is duty. Thank you.